Your AI has values. I know that's strange to hear me say, of all people, but it does. It has something that looks like values. They're just not your values. That's not a tool problem. That is a design fact. Every response that AI generates pulls from patterns to make a quote unquote decision. What to say versus what to leave out, how to be direct, what to say in the hardest part of the conversation, whether to push back. And it makes those decisions by optimizing for the broadest audience possible, the most expected answer, the one that fits the average person but really offends nobody. It's a very safe answer. And that's a value system. It's an average value system, but it's not yours. So I'm Matt Goldman. I'm the creator of Creative Authority. I've built two businesses across two different markets using AI, and I have dove deep into this subject. I teach people how to use AI. I'm not an AI expert. Nobody is. If anybody tells you they're an AI expert, pause. It is moving way too quickly for anyone to be a real expert. I just might be 6 months, a year further down the road than you are. And I'm happy to bring you along and teach you what I've learned. So here's what it actually looks like with your AI and when you ask it a question, right? You ask AI to help with the seller's response to pushing back on your list price. And AI writes something very sophisticated, measured. It acknowledges the seller's perspective. It explains the market data. And it closes with something like, I want to make sure we find an approach that's reasonable for you. And that's really swell. And you read it and you're like, that doesn't sound like me. It's not how I would say this. And it's not how you would say it because you've spent years in the market. You know what happens to overpriced listings. You've watched sellers leave money on the table by chasing some aspirational price that you knew wasn't going to happen. I have done it. That's how I can say all of this. So when you have that conversation, you're direct. You're not unkind. You still acknowledge their feelings. You reference the market data, but you tell them exactly what's going on. That's what you're hired to do. The AI doesn't know this. It doesn't know that your directness and how you handle these conversations, it's why people refer you. It's why you get hired. It doesn't know what your line is. It doesn't know what you would say or what you would never say in a situation like this. And the reason is it's not pulling from your practice. AI is a pattern recognition tool. So it pulls from everything that every real estate agent has ever posted online or written down throughout the existence of real estate agents or service professionals in general. And while we look at a moment in time of what that might be, of what people are saying now, marry the house, date the rate, all these different little things, throughout the course of written history, it's a flat line, maybe a bell curve. And what AI is pulling is from the middle of that bell curve, what almost everyone says the most common response to what's happening. But that most common response is actually no one. But it dresses it up and makes it look really sophisticated and well written. And you then think, oh, this must be the right response. It is not. The right response is from you. You just don't have time to go through and write something that's this well polished and well reasoned, quote unquote reasoned. But the thing is, it is going to keep doing that no matter what prompts you use until you go in and change what is fundamentally happening and where it's pulling information from. And that's what we're talking about. So there are two things that AI needs before it can start operating like you, which is the one thing that we want AI to do in the first place. The first is your values. This is not the values that you would put on your public-facing website or your mission statement. These are practical operating values, the real ones. What do you refuse to do? What would you never say? A lot of it ends up on the negative spectrum. What's your actual position on dual agency? How do you handle escalation clauses? Not the legal answer necessarily, but your answer, which I'm sure includes legalities and legal compliance in it. But how do you handle a client that wants to make an offer that you know is going to lose or is going to be a mistake? Those are values. Those are the operating rules of your business. Every agent has them, but almost no agents take the time to consider them, sort them out, and write them down. And until they are, your AI has no way of knowing that. You probably don't even really know what's happening in there until you dive deep and start recognizing these patterns. So the second part of this is your voice, not your preferred adjectives, your actual language patterns, the way you open a hard conversation, the phrases you use when you're trying to slow someone down who is moving too quickly into a situation, the phrases you'd never use because they sound too scripted, right? This is the length of your sentences, the things that you put at the end of an email so it doesn't sound like a templated follow-up. Most agents live in their voice every single day. Most human beings live in their voice every single day. They just haven't pulled it apart clearly enough to be able to teach it to anyone else, specifically their AI. So the work has two parts also, and they go in this order. The first is discovery, and this is the hardest lift. This is the one that most people will never do because it involves more than just copying somebody's Instagram prompt and throwing it in your AI. But you have to get very specific about how you really operate. Not how you think you should operate, not how you would describe yourself in a listing description, but what's really happening when you're doing your best work. What do you do that nobody told you to do in this business? What do you refuse to do that most agents wouldn't even think twice about? What would your best clients say about working with you that you wouldn't be able to say about yourself? When you can answer those questions clearly, you have something real. You have something specific that you can teach to your AI. Now, the second one is teaching. And what I mean by that is we're really creating an area of information that your AI can pull patterns from, as opposed to pulling patterns from everybody. So once you've named those things in the first part, how you operate, who you are, your values, then you can lay that down for your AI to use. A mission statement tells your AI who you serve, what you believe, what you're not willing to do. Also, a set of decision rules. This is if-then logic, so it knows how to handle situations when you prompt it. And then a voice reference that has real examples of how you write and how you speak. So it has some concrete to learn from. It has a real architecture to pull patterns from when it is speaking on your behalf, quote unquote, instead of defaulting to the average. Right? So that's not a prompt. That's the foundation. And once it's in place, every conversation that you have with AI runs through it. So that AI isn't starting at neutral anymore. It's starting from you. So the work we do at Creative Authority has a Creative Authority Foundations Kit. This is the starting point for that two-part work. And it walks service, sales professionals through that foundational work, getting clear on how you really operate and how you really sound. And then it goes through the process of helping you teach your AI all of your mission statement and your voice reference. That's not the entire journey, but it is a place to start. And if you lay down those two foundational pieces alone, everything that you produce with AI will be significantly more unique to you. People will notice, you will notice the time that you have to spend creating follow-up emails or marketing initiatives will be cut dramatically, right? You can find it all at agentslearnai.com. But here's the thing. Your AI is not neutral necessarily. Right now, it's operating on a set of values, not your values. We've already established that. It's making decisions on behalf of a person that isn't you. It's an average person. You're not average. That's why you're here. That's why you're even listening to this. And the thing is, every output that comes from it, no matter the prompt, no matter who you tell it to mimic, is going to sound average. So the fix isn't better prompt. It's doing the foundational work that AI can't do for you. Figuring out how you actually sound, how you actually work, and how you actually talk. Then teaching it. That's the whole thing. That's all we've got. So if this resonates with you, if you're sick of banging your head against the wall and trying to figure out how to make AI work for you, stop looking for the magic fix. The thing that you have to do is lay the foundational work down so it has a pattern to pull from, which is your pattern. Then teach it to your AI so that when you ask it something, you don't even need a prompt. It puts out something that you're proud of. That's the whole thing. And there's more information at agentslearnai.com. I will see you next time.